You know something funny? When we was talking in like the 12th round, I think the 12th or 11th, we was talking shit, right? But he like, you ain't gonna win. I said, why not? What you talking about? He like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I was like, oh, is that right?
The controversy over Tank Davis' majority draw against Lamont Roach Jr. is only getting bigger, and it's shaping up to be one of the biggest scandals in boxing this year. What should have been a clear-cut fight result has now sparked a heated debate about corruption, favoritism, and whether Tank was given special treatment by those behind the scenes.
Whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, "Oh, that he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner." I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation.
Fans are still shocked by what went down in the 9th round. Referee Steve Willis initially seemed to start a count, but then stopped himself, refusing to call it a knockdown. The confusion in that moment changed the entire fight's momentum. Now, speculation is growing that Willis may have been pressured, or even bribed, to protect Davis from losing his title.
Oh, if you take the knee, man, if you take the knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee.
The fight was already full of surprises. Lamont Roach Jr., seen as a major underdog, entered the ring with nothing to lose and everything to prove. Few expected him to last all 12 rounds, let alone challenge Gervonta Davis the way he did. But from the start, Roach made it clear he wasn't there just to be another name on Tank's highlight reel. He fought with precision, discipline, and confidence, dodging Davis' power shots and landing sharp counters. As the fight progressed, it became clear that this wasn't going to be an easy night for Davis. For the first time in a long time, he looked frustrated. His usual rhythm was off, and Roach wasn't giving him the openings he wanted. Then came the 9th round, the moment that changed everything.
Tank, you lost that fight. I mean, the only reason they gave you the fight was because you would make more money as a champion, but there's no way it's a draw, and they didn't call the knockdown. If they called a knockdown, you lost that unanimously.
Roach landed a clean shot that sent Davis stumbling, forcing him to take a knee. The crowd immediately reacted, expecting the referee to start the count for a knockdown. But then came the shock. Steve Willis, known for his expressive officiating, did something completely unexpected. He hesitated. For a brief moment, it looked like he was about to start counting, but then he stopped. Instead of calling it a knockdown, he waved it off like nothing happened. The commentators were in disbelief. The arena erupted in confusion, and social media exploded with fans demanding answers. How was this not ruled a knockdown? The replay clearly showed Davis taking a knee after a clean hit, yet Willis acted as if it never happened. And when the final scorecard were revealed, that moment made all the difference. Davis walked away with a majority draw instead of what many believe should have been a loss.
Lamont not being in big names, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw,
The controversy deepened when the World Boxing Association, WBA, quickly stepped in to defend Willis's decision. In a move that only fueled more suspicion, the WBA released an article on its official website, insisting that the referee made the right call. Their statement read, "From our perspective, Willis's decision was not unreasonable or unjustifiable. No knockdown should have been recorded." That single sentence set off a wave of backlash. Fans weren't buying it. Boxing analysts called the explanation absurd. Former fighters openly criticized the WBA for seemingly protecting Davis. Within hours, the article was being ripped apart across social media, and the pressure on the WBA only intensified.
Honestly, I thought I should have won without that being counted a knockdown. Look, I ain't the ref. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to wipe sweat out his eye, he had to wipe sweat out his eye. But the rules do state, if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic 8 count. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on that. I was relying.
The backlash was so intense that WBA President Gilberto Mendoza had to take down the article and issue a public apology. But instead of putting out the fire, his response only raised more questions. Mendoza posted a message directly to Lamont Roach Jr. on X, saying, "Champ, as president of the WBA, I must apologize for the opinion of a collaborator on the website. We believed in you from day one, knew you would deliver a marvelous performance and are proud of you as champion. That statement immediately set off alarm bells. If it was just the opinion of one contributor, why was it published on the WBA's official site? And why was the organization so quick to defend Willis's call in the first place? Mendoza also reached out to Roach's father, who is both his manager and trainer, with a similar message. But by then, the damage was done. Many saw this as a failed attempt at damage control, with the WBA getting caught trying to protect Davis and only backtracking when the backlash became overwhelming.
Thank you. It was a close fight. I'm not surprised the way Lamont fought. I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight.
What went wrong with Tank Davis? I mean, I was
what was wrong with
him out.
Every night in boxing is not your best. You feel me?
At this point, all eyes were on Gervonta Davis. With accusations of favoritism and even bribery swirling, fans were eager to hear his response. But when Tank finally spoke, he didn't deny or confirm anything outright. Instead, he fired back at his critics, saying, "I don't know anything about that, but look, they've been hating on me since day one. You're acting like I ain't never had to fight for my respect. They just mad 'cause I ain't lose my belt." He also insisted he was open to a rematch, stating, "If they want a rematch, we can run it back. I ain't ducking nobody." But if that were true, why hasn't the rematch been announced yet? Some believe Davis' team is stalling because they know Roach is a serious threat. With the controversy growing, the pressure for a rematch is getting stronger. Even WBA President Gilberto Mendoza admitted that the organization is considering pushing for a second fight. He stated that he has asked the WBA committee to closely follow Lamont Roach Jr.'s case for a direct rematch. However, he believes both sides, as expressed in the post-fight interview, will agree to run it back amicably. But not everyone is buying it. Many believe the WBA has already shown favoritism and will do whatever it takes to protect Davis. Even if a rematch happens, what's stopping the same questionable decision from influencing the outcome again?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure. But hopefully we could get it before... Nah, it probably won't be this year.
While the controversy continues to dominate discussions, Canelo Alvarez has also shared his thoughts. Though his upcoming fight against William Skull in May is his main focus, the Mexican superstar didn't hold back when talking about the biggest scandal in boxing right now that in an interview on Hot 97's Ebro in the Morning. Canelo gave his opinion on the 9th round, where Davis took a knee after getting hit cleanly by Roach. He made it clear that by the official rules, Roach should have won the round 10-8. He also pointed out that Davis' corner stepping into the ring mid-round should have led to an automatic disqualification. He took a knee. He needs to lose that round 10-8 at least. And plus, the corner stepped in and put a towel in his face. That's a disqualification for sure. I'm just talking about the rules. But you know, it's not my business, Canelo said.
But how do you assess his power after being in there for 12?
It got decent power. It got decent power for sure. I ain't gonna say it's exaggerated. I told you I got a chin. I ain't going like that.
While Canelo kept his comments short, they carried serious weight. This wasn't just any fighter speaking. It was the undisputed super middleweight champion calling out how the rules were ignored in favor of Davis. As backlash continues to build, it's becoming harder to ignore just how deep this controversy goes. The New York State Athletic Commission is still investigating the situation, and their findings could have a major impact on the lightweight division. Veteran boxing writer Dan Raphael didn't hold back when discussing the issue on ProBox TV, saying, "If they do one thing, Lamont Roach wins a fight." He made it clear that Steve Willis' decision cost Roach a championship and robbed him of the chance to hand America's top fighter his first loss. A lot went wrong that night, and it was all against Lamont Roach, Raphael added.
That people want to discredit Tank, and he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a fucking night with Cruz.
While this is what is keeping the pros talking, Canelo Alvarez's return to the ring in May against William Skull may be the biggest fight on his calendar, but that hasn't stopped him from weighing in on the biggest controversy in boxing right now. The Mexican superstar, known for speaking his mind, didn't hold back when discussing what he saw in the 9th round of the fight, where Davis took a knee after getting hit cleanly by Roach. In an interview on Hot 97's Abro in the morning, Canelo made it clear that by the rules, Roach should have won the round 108, and the situation with Davis's corner stepping into the ring mid-round should have resulted in an automatic disqualification. He'd take a knee he needs to lose like 10-8 that round at least, and plus the corner go up, and they put a towel in the face. That's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but you know it's not my business.
And in the end, lost that fight to Roach, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, it was a draw. He take a knee, and plus the corner go up and put a towel in the face. That's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but it's not my business.
While Canelo kept his comments brief, his words carried weight. This wasn't just any fighter talking. This was the undisputed super middleweight champion, a global boxing icon, pointing out exactly how the rules were ignored in favor of Davis. And as the backlash continues to grow, it's becoming harder to ignore just how deep this controversy runs. The New York State Athletic Commission is still investigating the situation, and the findings could shake up the lightweight division. Veteran boxing writer Dan Rafael didn't mince word when discussing the case on Pro Box TV, saying if they do one thing, Lamont Roach wins a fight. That bad night by Willis cost Lamont Roach a championship, deprived him of hanging the first loss on America's top fighter. A lot of stuff went bad, and it was all against Lamont Roach.
Was kind of a knockdown. I would win the majority decision. Honestly, I thought I should have won without that, but the rules do state if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic.
Regulators across the country are now closely watching as NOISAC chairman Matthew Dalio faces growing pressure to make a decision. The issue is complicated. If Dalio overturns the fight, Davis could lose his WBA lightweight belt and take his first official loss. However, some argue that it wouldn't be fair to change the result without giving Davis a chance to settle things in the ring. Though the major concern is that referee Steve Willis not only failed to call a clear knockdown, but also allowed Davis's corner to interfere mid-round. If the fight had been handled correctly, Roach would have had a major advantage in the final rounds. Instead, Davis was given extra time to recover, wipe his face, and continue as if nothing had happened. Now, the big question remains, was this just a mistake, or was something more going on behind the scenes?
I'm still rooting with him. I saw the negativity and people, critics talking, but I think he's one hell of a fighter, and I think he's still the top dog.
Former referee Jack Rice weighed in on Pro Box TV, emphasizing that while referees have some discretion, fighters are not allowed to take their own timeouts. You cannot call your own timeout, he stated firmly. Former world champion Paolo Malignaggi also called out the apparent double standard. Making matters worse, it was revealed that an instant replay review was available but never used. This means the commission had a way to correct the mistake in real time but chose not to, adding to suspicions that Davis received special treatment. Because of this, Pro Box TV founder Gary Jonas, who advises Roach, has officially appealed the decision, asking that Roach be declared the winner. Trainer Stephen Breeman Edwards captured the frustration perfectly, saying, "People make mistakes, but this always happens to favor the A side." That's the core of the issue. If the roles were reversed, if Roach had taken a knee, walked to his corner mid-round, and gotten an unofficial timeout, would the referee have ignored it? Most believe the answer is no.
And y'all gotta chill out with all of this Loma's beating Tank, and like, you this is crazy, man. Tank is knocking out Loma, man. Get out of here with that shit.
Couldn't knock out Roach, man.
Yo.
Couldn't knock out Roach.
I think Roach knocks out Loma.
Oh, man.
Many in the boxing world are pushing for an immediate rematch at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, where the controversy first unfolded. But for some, a rematch isn't enough. There are growing calls for disciplinary action against referee Steve Willis, for the New York Commission to overturn the fight's official result, and even for Davis to be stripped of his title. One of Davis's biggest rivals, Ryan Garcia, has also weighed in. Garcia, who lost to Davis by knockout last April, surprisingly took Roach's side this time. If that changes the whole fight, if that gives Roach the victory, give him the victory, Garcia said. That's how you keep the integrity of the sport, right? That's why they suspended me, right? To keep the integrity of the
It was a knockdown, without a doubt. You can't spin it no other way. It's too clear. And I think the commission needs to do something about it because it can give me an incentive, anytime I'm not feeling good in a fight, take a knee.
Well, they said
and that's not a shot at Tank. I respect Tank.
Garcia's comment is a direct shot at boxing's double standards. He was suspended after testing positive for a banned substance following his fight with Devin Haney, a ruling many felt was too harsh. Now, he's calling out the hypocrisy. If boxing claims to be about fairness, why isn't it holding Davis to the same strict standards? The controversy surrounding Davis versus Roach is no longer just about one fight. It's about the integrity of the sport itself. If a referee can ignore a clear knockdown, allow a fighter's corner to step in mid-round, and still let the favored fighter keep his belt, what does that say about boxing as a whole?
Did Gervonta Tank Davis have an off night? Probably. Did he have grease in his eye? Probably. Put the grease on. And did Lamont Roach win the fight? Yes. Let's look at the copy.
The NYSAC is expected to make a ruling soon, and the decision could have a huge impact on boxing. If they uphold the original result, fans may lose even more trust in the sport. But if they overturn it, Davis' reputation could take a serious hit, and the lightweight division could be thrown into chaos. One thing is clear, this controversy isn't going away. With big names like Canelo Alvarez, Ryan Garcia, and Teofimo Lopez speaking out, the pressure is only growing. And with tensions already high between Davis, Shakur Stevenson, and Vasily Lomachenko, this situation could be the turning point that shakes up the entire division.
You lost that unanimously.
I'm with Mace. I think he lost the fight. That referee has a lot of experience. For you not to call that knee a knockdown is crazy.
As the controversy surrounding Davis and Roach continues, another big debate is taking over the boxing world. Who would win if Davis and Shakur Stevenson finally faced off? With both fighters holding lightweight world titles, this is a fight fans have been waiting for. Recent performances from both men have only added to the anticipation. Davis, despite keeping his WBA belt, is now under investigation, and the outcome of that could change everything. If the New York State Athletic Commission overturns his fight with Roach, he might be forced into a rematch or even stripped of his title, which could delay a showdown with Stevenson. On top of that, questions about possible corruption, referee Steve Willis's controversial call, and whispers of favoritism have cast a shadow over Davis. Fans are now asking, has he been truly dominant, or has he just been protected?
But he still had rounds to go. He was in the 8th round. He was good. We just couldn't figure out why he wouldn't pick it up. Right. And so I think it was maybe a lack of focus just for a little bit, and we'll fix that.
On the other hand, Stevenson may have won his last fight, but it wasn't the dominant showing fans expected. He faced late replacement Josh Padley after Floyd Schofield pulled out due to illness, and while he secured a 9th-round stoppage, many felt he should have ended the fight much sooner. Given Stevenson's reputation as one of the best offensive boxers in the sport, his struggle to put away a lesser opponent raised some eyebrows. Critics questioned whether he has the power to keep a fighter like Davis at bay, adding even more intrigue to a potential showdown between the two.
You can run over. You can't do that in boxing. Anything can happen. You can have a great night, believe that. You got to believe in your soul, and I think the kid was in there with his soul tonight. It was a good fight, don't get me wrong. And, to me, it could have went either way.
With both fighters coming off less than impressive performances, boxing fans are more split than ever on who would win if Davis and Stevenson finally faced off. Two-weight world champion Teofimo Lopez recently shared his thoughts on the matchup in an interview with Fight Hub TV. Despite Davis' struggles against Roach, Lopez still believes he would come out on top against Stevenson. I still think Gervonta will win against Shakur. Technically, I just think like that, Lopez said with confidence. His stance isn't surprising, given his history of back-and-forth exchanges with Stevenson.
Do you still think that fight's possible? I know he might have a break after that fight with Lamont Roach, but do you feel like you guys could fight 2025 or 2026?
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't into chasing people around. I mean, if he's willing to fight, I'm ready to fight, and I think it should happen, but
Lopez and Stevenson have had their fair share of verbal exchanges, and Lopez has never hesitated to question whether Stevenson can handle aggressive, high-pressure fighters. But his prediction holds weight. He's a former unified lightweight champion and the current WBO super lightweight champion. If anyone knows what it takes to succeed at the highest level, it's him. His belief that Davis would beat Stevenson speaks volumes. However, not everyone agrees. Veteran trainer Robert Garcia has a different take on potential matchup. While he acknowledges Davis' knockout power, he sees Stevenson's defense and ring IQ as major advantages. According to Garcia, if Stevenson fights smart and avoids Davis' big shots, he has the skills to outbox him over 12 rounds.
I'm not even going to shit on him. But look, I want some money tonight. That's all I'm happy for. I want money tonight.
Shakur, tell us something, bro. Like, what did you think about the
I ain't
decision?
going to shit on him.
Okay.
We still got to see each other. He say he want to fight me, so we going to fight.
But what do you think about the decision?
I thought Lamont won.
You thought Lamont?
The big question is whether Stevenson can avoid mistakes for an entire fight. That's what makes this matchup so exciting. Stevenson's elite defense versus Davis' devastating power. If Davis lands clean, can Stevenson handle it? If Stevenson stays out of danger, can Davis adjust and outbox him? Fans are eager to see these questions answered in the ring, but with all the controversy surrounding Davis' last fight, it's unclear when or if this showdown will happen. Right now, Davis is dealing with the fallout from his disputed draw, while Stevenson is still searching for an opponent who can truly challenge him. What do you think will happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more boxing updates.